Hey there, Danny here. Welcome to my ramblings. Today I want to talk about something that may trigger you, but pay attention, because if it does trigger you, that's where you need to work on yourself so you can grow and you can find your true authentic self and learn to love yourself. So, we've talked a lot about past relationships of mine. I've shared a lot of poor choices, and I've discussed in the video before my picker being off. Essentially, what I've concluded, and I've done a lot of self introspection here, and if you continually keep picking the wrong type of guys and you find yourself attracted to these guys that are broken, and I'm sure it works the same for guys. I can't speak on that behalf because I'm not a guy, but you're the problem. You didn't force these people to treat you poorly, not in any way, shape, or form. But I'm going to explain this to you as clearly as I possibly can. So, I had a tendency to pick guys that I thought were, I pitied them. I felt sorry for them. I could see that they were decent. There was somebody decent inside of there, but they were broken. And I had this, for lack of a better term, hero complex, that I had enough love and that I could help them heal. I was the cause of all my problems. How? Because I can't save anybody. You can't help somebody that's not willing to help themselves. But I was so broken inside that if I could heal somebody else in my crazy mind, I thought that would heal me. I was, like I always say to you, if you're pointing a finger, there's 3 back at you. So, if you're dating and you tend to pick the wrong kind of guys and your relationships go sour and they end up toxic, you're the problem. Find your true authentic self, learn to love yourself, and life will get a lot nicer, a lot easier. You won't have as much drama. That doesn't mean you're not going to deal with people like you have in your past. You're just going to notice it right away, and you're going to be able to move on from that and say, okay, I'm not doing this. I'm out. And you'll keep them at arm's length like I talk about. So basically, it comes down to, I would see somebody that was in pain, and I would want to run in and rescue them and help them. And if I loved them enough, then they could fix what was broken in them. Why was I doing it? Plain and simple. Plain and simple. I did it because I was broken. And I wanted somebody to come save me. And the only person that can save you is you. Nobody can come in and save you from anything. You have to save yourself. And you do that by finding your true authentic self and learning to love yourself. And when you do, you're still going to have to deal with people like that. But you are on a different energetic level, so you're able to spot it right away and know to back away. And life becomes a lot easier at that point, because you start to put boundaries in place, you start to change who you are, and you start to feel more at peace. And it's a long road to get here, but keep following, because I'm going to add more to this as we go. Sometimes the hard decision is the right decision. The toxic relationship that you were in, and I'm not saying physical abuse, I'm not saying mental and emotional abuse, but aside from that, if you've been in several toxic relationships, the one common denominator is you. So it's time for you to look at yourself and find your true authentic self and learn to love yourself. And once you get there, it's a whole different world out there. You're still going to have problems, you're still going to have issues, but you're going to be able to handle everything so much better. And the biggest problem is we're pretty much taught to run from our problems. I truly 100% believe that all of our addiction problems that we have going on is because we haven't taught our society how to love themselves or how to find their true authentic self. Instead, we glorify being the victim. I mean, just look in the news and look at the world we're living in right now. Everything's about victim mentality. And the more of a victim you are, the more you have the right. You're entitled to things. Well, you're not. And I'm not talking physical, mental, emotional abuse. That's not what I'm discussing. I'm discussing an average relationship. Two broken people come together. It's codependency. And it took me years to finally admit that I had the codependency, that I became very codependent on the person. Now that I'm where I'm at, I can see it plainly, and I can see how I was a big part of the problem. Not that they didn't do anything wrong or that they were saints. They weren't. But I also wasn't a saint. I was toxic because I walked into the relationship thinking that if I loved them enough, then they would reward me. And like I've spoken to you before, you can't walk into helping somebody expecting something in return. And I share these things with you, and it's pretty real and pretty raw. I share these things with you so you can see, and I hope that my thoughts and my words sometimes help you, even if it triggers you. If things that I say trigger you and make you upset and frustrated, then you need to look in the mirror, and it's time for some self-reflection. Again, watch some of the other videos. I talk about how you can do that. But that's about all I have for right now. Things are about ready to get changed up here, and my being stuck stationary, I will be able to leave pretty soon and start traveling again, which I'm so excited for because I really don't want to stay someplace. 3 months, I think, is my max that I can stay. I got to move on. I like change. When I'm feeling depressed or traveling down that rabbit hole, I will just reorganize my place and I'll feel much better. I like change. Change makes me feel alive. So let's work on the fear and change. And if you're triggered, reach out. I'll gladly help you get past it. Anyways, have a great day, guys. Love ya.